Hello everyone, thanks for being here. Welcome to my lightning talk. Let's spend the next 10 minutes talking about design tokens. So a little bit about me. My name is Frank. I've been working in design systems since 2018 and currently I'm a design systems engineer at Xero. I maintain a personal design system as a side project for continuous learning, and I've spent the past year or so learning about optimal design token implementation. My goal for this talk is to share some design token knowledge and how we can all benefit from tokens to scale cohesive product outcomes. So what do we cover? Our agenda includes what is a design token, why is it valuable, how can we use it to scale how we work, how can we use it to scale the value we output, and how do we apply it to our work? Let's start with what a design token is. They're variables, codified fundamental design decisions. What does that mean? A specific color has been chosen to represent the brand. Apply the correct color of green across your product and communicate that brand. Avoid that bit of friction when the user goes through a workflow and suddenly they're seeing the wrong shade of green. It's subtle, but it breaks the flow. And when it's less subtle, a bit of trust is lost. Another example, define your spacing. Remember in Gmail, when you can define your layout to be comfortable or compact, design tokens are applying the appropriate spacing decisions to allow that to happen across the product. Let's say you're the owner of a small gelato business. We can create design tokens that represent your gelato flavors for your web presence. Lime is green and mango is yellow. It all starts with a simple variable or a simple fruit that creates some delicious gelato. So design tokens are variables. Why use them? We all practice dry, don't repeat yourself. This is important. The more you repeat yourself, the more likely you'll use that wrong shade of green or that wrong shade of mango. Design tokens are variables, and these variables have their purpose. Typography variables provide a legible experience. Spacing variables can add comfort to the viewing experience. Color variables can evoke certain emotion. Do you want to go out and buy some of that gelato you just saw online? Probably less so if that gelato was shown in black and white. The foundation of a design token is a variable. But when you put that variable in place, and it's working with the entire system of variables, where you can control the entire design and the look and feel of the product, that's where it has its strength. You're more able to evoke emotion from the user when they use your product. One of the feelings we want to evoke is trust. Communicate the brand throughout your product. So let's talk about design token value. I already mentioned their strength in evoking emotion. That's only possible when there's cohesion of design within the product. When we talk about our products, we strive for cohesion at scale. No one likes that disjointed web experience of putting all of that delicious gelato in your online cart and arriving at an unbranded checkout flow. Is it still the same site? Do I trust it with my credit card info? Create cohesion through design tokens. We don't need to reinvent self-designs. Focus on your checkout flow. Just don't forget to apply the design tokens that form a united whole. You can trust that your cohesive output will perform well when you have consistency in your design inputs. Don't reinvent self-designs. Use the tokens. They're the fundamental design decisions that bring the whole product together. How can we scale the way we work? Reduce repetition. We all try to optimize how we work efficiently. One of those factors includes reducing waste. Don't repeat yourself. Let's look at that small gelato business again. They've opened up a pop-up with a cart at the beach. Now imagine you're on that beach, you want a gelato. Your choices are to go home to your kitchen on the right and make it yourself, or get one from the gelato cart on the left. Can you imagine leaving the beach and going home to make a cup of gelato for yourself? Now imagine this for scale. Everyone on that beach wants a gelato, and everyone leaves to go home and make it themselves. So much repetition and waste. They could have gotten their gelato from the cart and enjoyed the rest of their day. Leave the heavy lifting to the variables. Enjoy your gelato at the beach. Create the space to focus on your purpose. How can we scale the value we output? Reduce time to market. Having those design tokens in place allow you to enter new markets faster. Let's explore that gelato cart example again. We mentioned the gelato itself was the design token in this scenario. We want to expand beyond the beach and enter the city market. We can take a second cart with the same gelato and the same design tokens to the people spending their days in the city. We've entered that new market with little effort. Now, we can focus on the unique features that this new market expects. Maybe instead of a cart, it's a little shop. The in-shop experience will be different from the cart experience, but it's still the same gelato. You've gained the affordance to focus on the in-shop experience while staying on brand, all thanks to our design token gelato. Let's talk about new markets. It's a new target demographic. We want their experience to be something that aligns with their reality. Let's gain their trust. Maybe this population prefers more color throughout their experience. Add in those bright yellows and blues. Maybe they're distracted by color and want less of it. Go for that monochromatic look on the right. And maybe users expect thick, bold lines seen in that center panel, or a tabular font like the one on the right. Or maybe light sensitivity plagues the region and dark mode is what they need. The point is, design tokens can support all of those things. Design tokens provide the levers that allow a product to adapt to new and evolving markets. This is the goal. Add those levers to the product. Apply the entire system of design tokens and gain the strength to evoke emotion and gain the trust of the user. Now, how do we apply it to our work? Let's take a look at a more practical example, internationalization. We may have experienced implementing this before, taking the content and adapting it to the language of the target market. How's that done? Content strings as variables. Sprinkle more variables throughout the product. Here you can see on the right that you don't need to know the translated content. Leave it to the variables. Here on the right, greeting and specials within the headers get replaced by the appropriate values on the left, depending on the location. The same goes for design tokens. All of your variables are defined. Here on the left are the provided CSS custom properties as our design tokens. We can then apply those design decisions to the same headers on the right. We apply the primary color to the H1 and the compact margin to the H2. Now this is primarily a web-focused example, but not all platforms are the same. The good thing is, this has already been solved for. That square in the middle of our flowchart. That's Style Dictionary. It's a tool that consumes our design tokens written in the W3C design token specification as JSON. Yes, there's already a spec being defined by the W3C community. It takes that JSON and transforms the values into platform-specific outputs, whether it be iOS, Android, or whatever the next hot thing might be. We now have one consistent source of truth of fundamental design decisions that can be scaled across all of the various platforms. This is the underlying design architecture, and this is design at scale. This is the power of design tokens. We're almost at time, so I can't run you through a live demo, but you can point your cameras at that QR code, and it will take you to a YouTube playlist where I run through a complete design token workflow starting in Figma and making my way to code by way of Style Dictionary. Okay, let's take a breath. That was a lot of content we just went through. Let's see where we've got to. Let's review. Our goals were to understand, relate, and act. We understood design tokens are variables. They're a trusted source for design decisions and a way to reduce repetition. We related design tokens to our current ways of working, and we ran through an example of the gelato business serving us that delicious mango gelato. What's left? Act. Here's the ask. Take what you've learned today and imagine how it fits into your work. It might be when you're addressing technical debt or replacing hard-coded strings with variables, or when you're modernizing your code to use the newest design language. Maybe it's when you're building that new feature or a new product experience for your users. Design tokens provide you with trusted design elements that you will benefit from straight away. And there's so much more we can talk about. I'll post all of these resources on the slide, as well as the link to the demo in the description. Thanks again for listening. Again, my name is Frank. You can find me on Twitter and LinkedIn. Feel free to reach out with any questions.